When my best friend called, I was at the spa getting a massage. Her voice was thick with tears, trembling as she said, "Hurry to the hospital, Lin Yu was in a car accident. In my past life, I got that same call and rushed to the hospital like a madwoman, still in my bathrobe, not even bothering to change. But when I got to the emergency room, all I heard was that Lin Yu and his little sister had both died despite rescue efforts. I waited outside the ICU for 3 days and nights, crying until I fainted several times. By the time I woke up, the two had already been hastily cremated, without even letting me see them one last time. Back then, I was naive and foolish, completely believing everyone's words. Reborn. It was this day again. And again this fateful phone call. This time, I didn't panic. Nor did I rush to the hospital. I calmly hung up the phone, switched on airplane mode, and turned to the technician with a composed tone. Add another hour. The lavender essential oil filled the room with its fragrant mist, and the technician's skilled hands soothed the fatigue from my body. The phone in the locker had long stopped its frantic buzzing, falling into complete silence. I closed my eyes, and the harrowing scenes from my past life flooded into my mind, as vivid as if they were yesterday. The same club, the same room, the same phone call. Back then, I fled in panic, wrapped in a thin bath towel, rushing out in ill-fitting high heels. The heels broke, and I ran barefoot for 5 blocks, my soles blistered and aching with every step. Yet I dared not stop for a moment. But when I dragged my battered body to the hospital, what I saw was a glaring sight. Lin Yu's cousin Jiang Chu-Chu lay quietly in his arms, both of them covered by the same white shroud. The doctor told me regretfully that Lin Yu had shielded Jiang Chu-Chu from the impact, taking the full force of the crash, and both died instantly. My vision went black on the spot, and when I woke up again, I was lying in a hospital bed. Lin Yu's mother, Chen Meihua, sat by my bedside, her eyes swollen and red like peaches, sobbing heart-wrenchingly. She kept crying, saying she had come too late and hadn't even seen her son one last time, that the car accident was too horrific, the body too badly damaged, and the hospital had issued a death certificate directly and hastily cremated him. I believed it. For 6 months, I lived in boundless grief and self-blame, feeling as if the sky had fallen and the earth had caved in. Lin Yu and I had been in love for 3 years and married for 12 campus romance that blossomed into marriage, envied by all, and the picture-perfect couple in our social circles. He was gentle, considerate, and successful in his career, always refined and never straying. The ideal husband in everyone's eyes. I thought I had the best love in the world, until 6 months later, when I accidentally uncovered all his secrets. He had quietly purchased 3 luxury properties, all registered under Jiang Chu-Chu's name. His bank transfer records spanned 8 years, with a monthly payment of 50,000 yuan to Jiang Chu-Chu, never once missed. He had even taken out a massive accident insurance policy for Jiang Chu-Chu, with himself listed as the sole beneficiary. What sent chills down my spine was that Jiang Chu-Chu was never his cousin. They were first loves, having pledged themselves to each other long before I ever met Lin Yu. He married me not out of love, but simply because I came from a wealthy family, was naive and easy to deceive. His most reliable stepping stone to success, his endless ATM. That car accident, which caused me unbearable pain, was never an accident at all, but a long premeditated double suicide act. They spent a fortune buying 2 unidentified corpses from the black market, meticulously fabricating the illusion that both had died. This act burdened me with the reputation of being a jinx, forcing me to bear all the debts Lin Yu left behind. Trapped in endless grief, tormenting myself. Meanwhile, they took my family's money and quietly fled to a foreign country, starting a carefree and liberated new life. When I finally woke up to the truth and wanted to call the police to expose everything, Chen Meihua found me first. The once kind and gentle mother-in-law now had eyes as cold as a venomous snake, shedding all pretense. Together with Lin Yu, who had rushed over, she ruthlessly pushed me off the rooftop. The moment my body fell, I could clearly see the scene at the edge of the rooftop. Lin Yu held Jiang Chuchu tightly in his arms, and Jiang Chuchu cradled a swaddled baby. The child's features bore a striking nightof resemblance to Lin Yu. The wind howled, carrying Lin Yu's cold and cruel words, which slammed heavily into my heart. This is my son, Shenwan. You're nothing but a laughably foolish ATM. Unable to see through the deep bond between Chuchu and me. In the final moment of my fall, I swore in my heart, if there is a next life, I will make this family pay with blood for blood. Thankfully, I truly have been reborn. I have returned to the day this deception began. I slowly turned over and said calmly to the technician outside the door, add a full-body treatment, a deep-sea mud mask, and a hot stone massage. Arrange everything. The technician responded gently and called out to me with a smile. All right, Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin. I sneered inwardly. Soon, this ridiculous title would cease to exist. In this life, I would make Lin Yu personally experience what kind of boundless glory he had lost by losing me. After finishing the full SPA, I slowly got up and enjoyed a delicate afternoon tea at the club's restaurant. The French desserts were light, sweet, and soft, paired with a rich Earl Grey tea. While outside the window, the city's dazzling and bustling nightscape unfolded. In my past life, my life was full of bitterness and scars. In this life, I want to make up for all the sweetness I missed. One by one, I turned on my phone, and the screen instantly lit up with a dense list of missed calls. In total, 30 from Su Qing, 20 from Chen Meihua, 10 from Lin Yu's partner Zhou Mai. And the rest were all unfamiliar numbers. I skipped all the familiar numbers and only called back Zhou Mai. As soon as the call connected, Zhou Mai's low, anxious voice came through. Shenwan, where are you? Lin Yu is in trouble. My heart stirred slightly. In my past life, he had also made this call, but back then I was panicked and lost, my mind consumed by Lin Yu's safety, leaving no room to heed his words. It wasn't until later that I learned Zhou Mai was the only one around Lin Yu who saw through the truth and suspected his fake death. But without solid evidence or the right position, he was ultimately powerless to change the outcome. Worse still, because he insisted on investigating the matter, Lin Yu maliciously set him up, leading to his company's bankruptcy and overwhelming debt. The year I died tragically on the rooftop, I heard he had fallen so low that he could only make a living delivering food. I'm getting SPA, I said calmly, my tone betraying no hint of emotion. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end of the line, then a hint of hesitation. You know what? That Lin Yu isn't dead. My heart jolted violently, so he had known all along. How do you know? I pressed, my voice low. I saw him board a flight abroad with my own eyes. Zhou Mai's voice was calm and restrained, as if stating an established fact. The two bodies at the crash site were purchased at a high price from the black market. Jiang Chuchu is safe and sound. They should already be on a plane to Switzerland by now. Shenwan, if you're willing to trust me, we can meet and talk. I gripped my phone tightly, my mind in turmoil. In my past life, if I hadn't been so stubbornly consumed by grief and had accepted his goodwill, could all the tragedies have been avoided? All right, I steadied myself. I'll see you at Hengmao Center in an hour. After hanging up the phone, I decisively blocked all contact information for Su Qing and Chen Meihua, completely severing the hypocritical ties with them. Then, I opened my mobile banking app and began to settle everything that belonged to me. In my past life, I only discovered after Lin Yu's death that he had quietly transferred all of our joint marital assets, leaving me with nothing and drowning in debt. In this life, I struck first. I logged into the joint account Lin Yu and I shared. The balance was 3 million. This included the dowry my parents had given me, the savings I had accumulated over years of work, and what was called Lin Yu's year-end bonus, which was largely derived from my family background. Without a moment's hesitation, I transferred the full amount into my personal account. Immediately after, I logged into Lin Yu's personal account. His password was all too familiar to mine. It was Jiang Chuchu's birthday. 199503114. In my past life, seeing this password had pierced my heart with pain. Now, it only left me with a sense of irony. The balance in his personal account was 800,000. And I transferred every last cent. I went through each of his credit cards one by one, totaling a credit limit of 500,000. I cashed out the entire amount and transferred it into my account. In just over 10 minutes. Nearly 5 million in funds were fully restored. This was the first seed capital for my revenge. But this was far from enough. I opened my laptop and logged into Lin Yu's personal email. The password still being Jiang Chuchu's birthday. In the email drafts folder, an unsent message was glaringly conspicuous. It was a love letter Lin Yu had written to Jiang Chuchu. But more than that, it was damning evidence. Every word a stabbing indictment. Chuchu, just wait a few more days, and everything will be over. That woman has already signed the insurance beneficiary change form. Once I die, she will also meet with an accident. By then, our son will be the sole heir, and we can finally be together openly and forever. I took screenshots one by one to preserve the evidence, completely deleting all login traces, leaving no loopholes behind. Next was the property. The villa where Lin Yu and I lived after marriage had a down payment of 3 million yuan fully funded by my parents. And the million yuan renovation cost was also borne solely by me. Yet the property deed bore both our names. Why should I leave everything I poured my heart and soul into for a heartless, ungrateful scumbag? I immediately logged into the real estate trading platform and contacted the agent. Hello, I have a villa for urgent sale. Price negotiable. The agent quickly responded. I gave the detailed address and added, my husband just passed away, and I urgently need to handle the inheritance. Please arrange a house viewing as soon as possible. The agent's tone instantly softened. My condolences, ma'am. We'll come to your place tomorrow to make the arrangements. After hanging up, I created a new document and carefully wrote out a complete revenge plan, clear and methodical. Step by step. 1. Asset transfer. Completed. A total of 3 million yuan has been transferred. The marital villa is listed for a quick sale. 2. Evidence collection. Private email records between Lin Yu and Jiang Chuchu have been obtained. Hard evidence such as transfer records, property donation certificates, and paternity test results are pending. 3. Seeking allies. Lin Yu's partner, Zhou Mai, has been identified. It is known that he is aware of the situation and bears a deep grudge against Lin Yu. A meeting is pending to verify his credibility and establish in-depth cooperation. 4. Public opinion campaign. Wait for the right moment to fully expose everyone's true faces, causing Lin Yu, Jiang Chuchu, Chen Meihua, and Su Qing to lose their reputations and social standing. 5. Final roundup. Coordinate with the police to apprehend all involved parties, ensuring they pay the price according to the law. Under each major category, I broke it down into countless detailed execution steps. I would uncover all the evidence of their faked deaths, extramarital affairs, illegal asset transfers, and deliberate harm, making them endure every bit of the suffering I experienced in my past life, leaving them with nothing, doomed to eternal damnation. For an entire afternoon, I bent over my desk, refining it until a flawless revenge plan was fully formed. Night fell. At the Hengmao Center Cafe, Zhou Mai sat in a corner by the window, dressed in a well-tailored dark suit, his sharp features clearly defined, his gaze keen and steady, exuding a powerful presence far more commanding than Lin Yu beneath his gentle disguise. I stepped forward slowly and took a seat across from him. How much do you know? I cut straight to the chase. Zhou Mai silently raised his hand and pushed over a thick folder, filled with meticulously organized and detailed documents. Lin Yu and Jiang Chuchu have been entangled in secret for 8 years. Jiang Chuchu is not his cousin, she is his first love. And the two have a 3-year-old son together. Lin Yu transferred 30 million yuan of the company's core funds in advance, already prepared to abscond with the money. This car accident was entirely staged. 2 unidentified bodies were purchased from the black market for 500,000 yuan. Meticulously orchestrating a scam. Chen Meihua and Su Qing were fully aware and coordinated their roles. Su Qing was responsible for stabilizing you and luring you into grief, while Chen Meihua orchestrated the entire plan. After your subsequent accidental death, they would join forces to seize all your assets. I opened the folder, and a dense array of bank transaction records, private chat logs, covert photos, and driving footage came into view. Zhou Mai's investigation was meticulous. The chain of evidence complete and detailed, even more comprehensive and brutal than the truth I had known. Why are you helping me? I looked up at him, my eyes full of doubt. There is no such thing as free goodwill in this world. His wholehearted assistance must have a reason. Zhou Mai looked up at me, his eyes churning with years of suppressed pain and forbearance. His tone calm yet laden with heavy weight. Because Lin Yu also caused my sister's death. My heart shook violently. My sister, Zhou Muge, was Lin Yu's ex-girlfriend. Zhou Mai's voice was flat, almost indifferent, as if recounting a story unrelated to himself. Yet it concealed a piercing sorrow. 3 years ago, the outside world said she committed suicide for love. But I investigated for 3 full years. And the truth is that Lin Yu personally pushed her off a high-rise building. It was only because she accidentally stumbled upon Lin Yu and Jiang Chuchu's secret affair, learning all their secrets, and wanted to expose their facade, to eliminate the threat once and for all. Lin Yu struck first and cruelly silenced her. I spent 3 years investigating in secret, gathering evidence, but Lin Yu is meticulous and ruthless, and I never found the perfect opportunity for revenge. Until he took a desperate gamble and orchestrated this elaborate fake death escape. I stared at him, finally understanding the obsession and exhaustion in his eyes. It turned out we were both victims trapped in a web of deceit, having lost our loved ones, bearing blood debts, and enduring in silence for years. Let's work together, I said, my gaze firm. I'll help you seek justice for your sister, and you'll help me expose Lin Yu's fake death scheme. Together, we'll make every wrongdoer pay the price. Zhou Mai lifted his gaze, the gloom in his eyes dissipating as a glimmer of light flickered within. He reached out his hand, and I took it without hesitation. His palm was warm and firm, steady and reliably, a stark contrast to the man from my past life, who was down and out and powerless to resist. But the path of revenge is never smooth sailing. The next morning, I received an anonymous package. The moment I opened it, a chilling coldness surged toward me. Inside was a dead rat, accompanied by a note with sharp, threatening handwriting. Shut up, or you'll be next. My eyes narrowed, instantly on alert. Lin Yu's informants left behind in the country have come knocking. In my past life, I never received any threats, simply because I was foolish and weak, fully compliant, naively falling into their sorrowful trap, which made them feel completely at ease. But in this life, my unusual calmness and refusal to cooperate have completely disrupted their plans and aroused their suspicion. I immediately took photos of the package, preserved the evidence, and forwarded it to Zhou Mai. He replied instantly, "These are remnants of Lin Yu's forces. He left behind backup and informants locally. For now, we stay put and don't act rashly and alert the enemy. Just proceed covertly." I deeply agreed and immediately adjusted my strategy. On the surface, I would continue to play the heartbroken, weak, and helpless widow to lower everyone's guard. In secret, I accelerated the collection of a complete chain of evidence. Waiting for the right moment to close the net, I took the initiative to call Su Qing, my voice carrying just the right amount of panic and weakness, perfectly replicating the fragility of my past life. Ching ching. My phone died yesterday and I didn't see your messages. How is Lin Yu? On the other end of the line, Su Qing's acting was impeccable, instantly breaking into heavy sobs. Wan, come to the hospital quickly. Lin Yu, he's not going to make it. I pretended to be flustered and panicked. Okay, I'll be right there. After hanging up the phone, I looked in the mirror and applied a pale, haggard makeup, deliberately painting my eyes to look swollen and exhausted. Then drove to the hospital. In the corridor outside the ICU, Chen Meihua was hunched over, sobbing quietly, looking pitiful and miserable. seeing me arrive. She immediately rushed over and hugged me tightly, wailing in a shrill voice. Wan, why are you only here now? He's gone. I let her hold me, forcing a choked, suppressed sob from my throat, my acting no less convincing than theirs. Mom! How could this happen? We were fine just a few days ago. How did it suddenly come to this? Chen Meihua gently patted my back, her tone so soft it was almost affectionate, but the hand on my shoulder was icy cold, like a lurking venomous snake. Don't be afraid. Wan, Mom is here. Yuer is gone. But Mom will stay with you, and will take good care of you. I buried my face in her arms, pretending to weep bitterly, while only endless cold laughter remained in my heart. Take care of me. She's just coveting the family property under my name. Wanting to swallow everything I have, I suddenly lifted my head, my eyes bloodshot, my face full of stubbornness and grief. Mom, I want to see Lin Yu one last time. I am his wife, and I have the right to do so. Chen Meihua's eyes flickered with panic in an instant, and she instinctively tried to evade. Wan, don't be difficult. Yuer's injuries were too severe, and his body is badly damaged. The doctor advised against you seeing him, afraid it would leave you with psychological trauma and nightmares every night. I don't care. I must see him. I broke down crying and making a scene on cue, my emotions intense, perfectly playing the role of a grieving wife unable to accept reality. Su Qing immediately stepped forward to support me, gently persuading. Wan, calm down. Accept it and move on. Lin Yu was cremated yesterday. Your mother-in-law was afraid you'd be too heartbroken, so she didn't dare tell you. I froze on the spot, then collapsed to the ground, completely drained of strength. Tears streamed down my face as I cried out in despair. How could you do this? I didn't even get to see him one last time. Patients and their families passing by in the hallway stopped to look at my pitiful state, their eyes full of sympathy as they softly tried to console me. Chen Meihua and Su Qing, feeling awkward under the gaze of the crowd, hurriedly helped me up and led me into the restroom to calm me down. Wan, we did it all for your own good. We didn't want you to suffer too much. I nodded numbly, my eyes vacant, looking like someone crushed by devastating news. I understand. I need some time alone. Seeing my dejected state, the two of them completely let down their guard and left with peace of mind. The moment they were gone, I immediately stopped my tears, wiped my cheeks, and turned on the voice recorder. The entire conversation just now was recorded word for word, without a single mistake. Too injured to be seen and hastily cremated, these were all flaws too obvious to cover up. In a normal car accident death, there's absolutely no way the body would be hastily cremated within just one day. The only truth is that they were afraid I would see through the authenticity of the corpse, afraid their deception would be exposed. I sent the full recording to Zhou Mai. He quickly replied. It's valid evidence, but not enough yet. Although Lin Yu and Jiang Chu have left the country, they left behind a lot of traces domestically. We'll dig into each one and complete the chain of evidence. Over the next month, Zhou Mai and I worked in tandem, gathering evidence on two fronts, step by step closing in on the truth. Zhou Mai delved deep into Lin Yu's company, tracing financial flows, identifying accounting loopholes, and gathering all evidence of illegal asset transfers and embezzlement of public funds. I focused on investigating the 3 properties Lin Yu had secretly transferred to Jiang Chu, uncovering every trace of their extramarital affair and cohabitation. I pretended to be Jiang Chu's friend and contacted the property management of one of the luxury estates. Chu has moved abroad permanently and asked me to come pick up some personal belongings. After verifying the registration information, the property management didn't suspect much. Miss Jiang did register for long-term departure and reported that someone would take care of the property on her behalf. I seized the opportunity and said, "She left in a hurry and didn't have time to give me the keys. Could you please lend me the spare key? I'll return it immediately after I get the items." The property management hesitated for a moment but eventually handed over the spare key, repeatedly reminding me to return it within an hour and to register everything throughout the process. I smoothly entered the mansion. The interior was luxuriously and exquisitely decorated, with intimate photos of Lin Yu and Jiang Chu displayed everywhere. By the seaside, on mountaintops, on foreign streets, the two of them embraced and smiled, their happiness dazzling. Every word and image a mockery of my marriage. I suppressed the surging emotions within me and carefully searched the entire house. Eventually, deep inside the master bedroom closet, I found a hidden safe. I tried Jiang Chu's birthday, Lin Yu's birthday, and the anniversary of their relationship, but the safe remained unmoved. Finally, I attempted the birthday of that 3-year-old child, and the safe clicked open. Inside the safe lay a neatly arranged stack of crucial documents, each one a heavy piece of evidence. There were 3 property deeds under Jiang Chu's name, a massive insurance policy Lin Yu had purchased for her, a passbook recording years of uninterrupted transfers, their passports for overseas travel, and a paternity test report stamped with the official seal of an authoritative institution. The report clearly proves that the 3-year-old child has a confirmed biological relationship with Lin Yu. I quickly calculated the child's birth date and immediately gasped, my entire body turning cold. This child was conceived and born after Lin Yu and I had registered our marriage and held our wedding ceremony, while he played the role of a gentle, devoted, and deeply loving perfect husband in front of me, enjoying the resources and convenience brought by my family. He was secretly entangled with Jiang Chu, carrying on an affair and fathering a child. How foolish I was, kept in the dark for years, willingly giving everything, only to become a stepping stone for his and his lover's stable life. I took high-definition photos of every page of all the documents and sent them in a package to Zhou Mai. Got the core hard evidence, paternity and marital asset transfers are all confirmed. Zhou Mai replied immediately with even more shocking news. I've made a major breakthrough too. The bulk of the 10 million in assets Lin Yu transferred ultimately ended up in an overseas private account. And the account holder is Chen Meihua. My pupils contracted, and my heart jolted violently. Chen Meihua, his mother. She wasn't just aware she was one of the masterminds behind the entire scam. Zhou Mai's tone was grave. She opened that overseas account in person, after Lin Yu faked his death. All the illicit funds were regularly transferred into that account for her to hold and launder. I feel an icy chill spreading through my entire body. In my past life, I naively believed that Chen Meihua was merely overprotective of her son and a passive accomplice. Now I realize that this seemingly kind and benevolent mother-in-law was the mastermind behind it all from the very beginning. That elder who held me gently, comforted me, and promised to take good care of me had been meticulously scheming for my family fortune, my life, and my very existence all along. There's another crucial clue, Zhou Mai continued. I tracked down the driver responsible for the staged car accident back then. His name is Lu Deong. A gambler drowning in debt. 3 months after the accident, he suddenly paid off all his debts, bought a new house in full, and became rich overnight. The person who cleared all his debts and paid him was Chen Meihua. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. All the clues finally fell into place. The staged car accident that ruined my life was personally orchestrated, funded, and executed by Chen Meihua. She bribed a gambler driver, purchased a corpse from the black market, faked a tragic accident, and then played the role of a grieving mother who had lost her beloved son. All to keep me, devastated and heartbroken, under control. The whole family, united as one, acted in perfect harmony, joining forces to push me into the abyss. Have you found Lu Deong himself? I asked in a low voice. We found him, but he's extremely cautious. He knows how serious his involvement is and refuses to talk or reveal the truth. Zhou Mai replied. He's our most critical breakthrough right now. Once we get his confession, the chain of evidence will be fully closed. After a moment of thought, I spoke decisively. Leave this person to me. Lu Deong lives in an old residential area on the outskirts of the city, where the environment is messy and the crowd is mixed. Disguising myself as a self-media journalist, I smoothly found him under the pretext of interviewing ordinary people's stories of sudden wealth. Lu Deong, in his 40s, had a face full of coarse flesh, with murky, evasive eyes and an air of street thuggery. Facing my interview, he was full of vigilance and responded perfunctorily. "There's nothing to say. I just got lucky and won the lottery." I gave a faint smile, stepped half a pace forward, lowered my voice, and struck at the heart of the matter. "Mr. Liu. No need to hide it. I know your money didn't come from winning the lottery, it was given to you by Chen Meihua, wasn't it? That horrific car accident 3 months ago, how much did she pay you? 500,000. Or $1 million. To help her fake the scene and swap the bodies." Liu Daiyong's face suddenly changed, instantly stiffening. His eyes panicked, his tone forceful and evasive. "What nonsense are you talking about? I don't understand." I pulled out the photos of the car accident scene I had printed in advance, held them up to him, and spoke each word clearly and sharply. "The whole world knows about this accident. 2 people died on the spot. But you and I both know that the dead were 2 anonymous black market corpses. The real Lin Yu and Jiang Chu Chu have long since taken the money they swindled and are living it up abroad." I looked straight into his panicked yes, and revealed my identity. "I am Shen Wan, Lin Yu's wife. I am also the person your entire family conspired to deceive, nearly costing me my life. Do you know how many years you could face for fabricating a traffic accident, illegally trading corpses, participating in massive fraud, and deliberately attempting to murder someone? 10 years, 20 years, or even life imprisonment. You will spend the rest of your life behind bars." Cold sweat beaded on Liu Daiyong's forehead, his body trembling slightly, his psychological defenses on the verge of collapse. I softened my tone and offered him the only way out. "I won't force you, but I am giving you a chance to turn over a new leaf and strive for a reduced sentence. Confess all the truth truthfully. Disclose every scheme of Chen Meihua and Lin Yu, and I can help you issue a letter of understanding and assist you in seeking leniency. If you wait until the police come knocking, there will be no turning back. You'll have no choice but to plead guilty and serve your sentence. And your entire life will be utterly destroyed." After a long silence, Liu Daiyong completely broke down, his psychological defenses shattered, his voice trembling. He began to speak. "I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. It was Chen Meihua who approached me first. She gave me a down payment in advance and told me to deliberately cause a serious car accident, ensuring that both people in the car would die without a doubt. She personally handed me 2 prepared corpses and had me drive into them to fake a tragic accident. She gave me 500,000 yuan on the spot and promised another 500,000 as hush money after the job was done. At first, I thought I was just helping someone stage a fake death. I had no idea the bodies were bought on the black market, let alone that they were trying to scam and harm people. I kept the recording running the entire time, documenting every word of the testimony without missing a single detail, and photographing all the on-site evidence for preservation. With the crucial testimony in hand, I immediately relayed it to Zhou Mai. The breakthrough is complete. All the mastermind's crimes are fully confirmed. Liu Daiyong's confession ultimately stirred the hornet's nest, thoroughly alarming Chen Meihua, who had been lurking behind the scenes. The next afternoon, Chen Meihua came directly to my doorstep, shedding her usual kindness and gentleness. Her makeup was sharp, her gaze venomous and sinister, like a coiled snake ready to strike. "Shen Wan, I underestimated you." She looked down at me, her tone icy and piercing. I sat upright on the sofa, my expression calm, and lifted my eyes indifferently. "Mom, I don't understand what you mean. Stop pretending." Chen Meihua sneered, her face twisted with malice. "Liu Daiyong has confessed everything. You know it all, that my son isn't dead, that Jiang Chu Chu exists, and all of our plans." I dropped the pretense and nodded frankly, enunciating each word clearly. "That's right. I know everything. I know that car accident was orchestrated by you, that you bribed the driver, bought a corpse, and faked the tragedy. I know you put on a tearful act in front of me to keep me steady, waiting for me to fall into your trap, to be killed by you, and for you to seize all my assets." Chen Meihua's expression shifted several times before finally settling into calmness, her tone carrying a hint of negotiation. Since you know everything, let's get straight to the point. What do you want? Money. I can give it to you 5 million. 10 million as long as you're willing to shut up and stop digging into this matter. I can satisfy you. I let out a scornful laugh, full of mockery. Mom, do you think I still lack this money? I've already recovered all the assets Lin Yu transferred. The villa we owned after marriage has been listed for sale. Right now, I'm far richer than you. A flash of venom and ruthlessness surged in Chen Meihua's eyes. Then what exactly do you want? I want justice. My gaze was firm, my tone resolute. I want Lin Yu and Jiang Chu to return to the country and face legal trial. I want you to pay the price you deserve for all your evil deeds. Chen Meihua suddenly threw her head back and laughed, her laughter arrogant and mocking. Justice? Shen Wan, you're too naive. With just your own strength, you can't possibly fight us. My son is abroad now, with money, status, and connections, living a carefree life. Even if you call the police, you'll never catch him. As for me, you can't convict me based solely on the testimony of a gambler. Without physical evidence, without surveillance footage, it's all empty talk. What can you do to me? She stood up, looking down at me with a condescending glare, her tone full of threat. I advise you to be smart. Take the money and live a peaceful life. Don't force us into a desperate fight. Otherwise, you will definitely regret it. I slowly rose to my feet, meeting her cold gaze, and said calmly, too bad. I've never been alone. As the words fell, the door was gently pushed open. Zhou Mai walked steadily into the room with 2 police officers, showing his badge and speaking with authority. Chen Meihua, you are suspected of intentional homicide, insurance fraud, falsifying death certificates, and gang fraud. Please come with us to the police station immediately for investigation. Chen Meihua's face instantly turned as pale as paper, her body stiff, and her fingers trembling as she pointed at me, her eyes full of disbelief. You set me up. I walked up to her, my eyes calm and unruffled. This isn't a setup, it's karma. Every ruthless trick you and Lin Yu taught me, I've learned them all. I just used them on the right side, to seek justice. Chen Meihua was taken away by the police on the spot, still cursing madly and roaring with indignation along the way. I stood by the window, watching the police car slowly drive away, feeling neither satisfaction nor any stir in my heart. This is only the beginning. Lin Yu, Jiang Chu, your good days are over. I will personally drag you back from your cozy nests in foreign lands, one by one, to face judgment. Chen Meihua's arrest completely alarmed Lin Yu, who was far abroad. He immediately entrusted a domestic lawyer to contact me, attempting to negotiate a settlement, his tone laced with compromise. Shen Wan, let my mother go, and you can name any terms. I replied bluntly, leaving no room for negotiation. Turn yourself in back home, or no deal. Lin Yu, long accustomed to a life of luxury abroad, flatly refused. He clung to his freedom and affluent lifestyle, unwilling to return home and face imprisonment. But he ultimately underestimated Zhou Mai's capabilities, and even more so, underestimated our resolve for revenge. Zhou Mai directly compiled a complete set of evidence, coordinated with Interpol, froze all of Lin Yu's asset accounts in Switzerland, and simultaneously submitted formal case filing materials to the Swiss police, accusing him of multiple charges including faking his death, massive insurance fraud, and intentional injury. With solid evidence and a clear case, the Swiss police quickly filed the case, and Lin Yu and Jiang Chu instantly became internationally wanted fugitives. The 2 were forced to flee in panic, moving from Switzerland to Thailand, and then from Thailand to Myanmar, enduring a life of hardship and hiding along the way. Once wealthy and glamorous with vast sums of money, they lost all their support, left without legal identities or available funds, restricted everywhere and hunted by all, with no way out and completely out of options. Lin Yu finally gave in completely. He once again sent word through someone, his tone weary and resigned. Shen Wan, I can return to China and turn myself in, but you must guarantee my mother's safety. I was left with nothing but a cold sneer. My words icy. At this point, you no longer have any room to negotiate. Return to China and confess your crimes. Or grow old and die in a foreign land. The choice is yours. 3 days later, with no other options left, Lin Yu brought Jiang Chu with him and voluntarily entered the country, only to be arrested by the police at the airport on the spot. The media's cameras crowded densely at the airport, capturing the disheveled state of the two. Lin Yu, once spirited and refined, now appeared with a stubbly beard, a haggard face, and vacant eyes, utterly downcast. With no trace of his former glory, he spotted me in the crowd, his eyes swirling with complex emotions: reluctance, resentment, regret, until finally, only a dejected murmur remained. Shen Wan, you win. I shook my head gently, my tone calm. I never intended to win against anyone. I just gave it my all to reclaim what was rightfully mine. Lin Yu, do you remember? In my past life, the moment you and your mother pushed me off the rooftop together, I swore I would make you pay with blood. In this life, I have done it. Lin Yu's pupils contracted sharply, his face full of shock. As if he couldn't understand a word I said about the past life. I didn't explain further. I turned around and walked away calmly. There's no need for him to know the suffering and despair of my past life. He only needs to understand that those who do evil will eventually reap what they sow. He destroyed everything with his own hands and lost it all. The trial lasted 3 months, with all evidence chains forming a complete loop. And the case was clear and straightforward. The court ultimately ruled Lin Yu was convicted of intentional homicide, massive insurance fraud, falsification of death certificates, and bigamy, with multiple offenses combined. Sentenced to death. Jiang Chu, as an accomplice who participated in the entire scam and deliberately harmed others, was sentenced to life imprisonment. The mastermind Shen Meihua, convicted of intentional homicide and organized fraud with egregious circumstances, was sentenced to death. Su Qing, for failing to report the crime, assisting in wrongdoing, and malicious defamation, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Lin Yu and Jiang Chu's 3-year-old son, an innocent child with no fault, was ultimately placed in a public orphanage for proper care. I made a special trip to the orphanage to see him once. The child's features closely resembled Lin Yu's, but without a trace of ruthlessness or cunning. His eyes were clear, pure, and transparent. I quietly left behind enough money for him to grow up, study, and build a future. Not for Lin Yu, not for Jiang Chu, but for this pure innocence. For a life that should have been raised in the sunlight. On the day the trial ended, the sunset was just right. Zhou Mai stood quietly at the courthouse entrance, waiting for me to come out. It's all over, he said softly, his tone one of relief. Yeah, it's over, I replied softly, suppressing all the turmoil in my heart. The two of us walked side by side under the sunset, the afterglow stretching our shadows long and gentle. So, what are your plans now? Zhou Mai turned to ask me. Start over and live well. I looked toward the clear horizon in the distance, my eyes full of light. What about you? Zhou Mai paused slightly, a trace of confusion flickering in his eyes. I've been obsessed with avenging my sister for 3 years. Now that the revenge is complete and the goal is gone, I suddenly don't know where to go from here. Seeing the emptiness in his eyes, I recalled how he had ended up on the streets in his past life. My heart stirred, and I took the initiative to invite him. How about we start a business together? He was momentarily stunned, his eyes full of doubt. I have the funds, and you have the ability and experience. I looked at him seriously, my tone sincere. We can establish a non-profit organization dedicated to helping victims of emotional fraud, property embezzlement, and domestic violence, helping them break free from their struggles, reclaim justice, and restart their lives. Let more people trapped in despair have a chance to be reborn. The confusion in Zhou Mai's eyes instantly dissipated. As light gradually spread and rekindled vitality, he nodded solemnly, his tone resolute. All right, let's do this together. A year later, the Rebirth Public Welfare Foundation was officially established. We focus on helping all vulnerable groups who have been emotionally deceived, maliciously schemed against, or have suffered domestic violence and property encroachment, providing free professional legal consultation, psychological counseling, employment assistance, and rights protection guidance, drawing from my own painful experiences. I tell every victim trapped in despair, you don't have to accept your fate. You can fight back. You deserve rebirth. And you deserve all the beauty in the world. Mai, with his professional expertise and years of experience, has helped countless people gather evidence, recover losses, punish the wicked, and seek justice. Our story has been widely covered by the media and turned into a public service documentary, warming and healing countless people trapped in darkness. More and more people have come to understand the true meaning of rebirth. Rebirth is never about indulging in revenge, but about letting go of hatred. It is not about being trapped in the past, but about loving oneself, embracing life, and moving toward the future. One day, a young woman in her early 20s came to the foundation. She was frail, with timid eyes and a face full of self-doubt, much like me when I had just been reborn and had yet to break free from the shadows. Sister Shenwan. Her voice choked with tears. My boyfriend swindled me out of all my savings, drained my finances, and tricked me into borrowing a huge amount of high-interest loans. I once thought about ending my life, but after reading your story, I found the courage to come and ask for help. I gently held her cold, trembling hand and comforted her softly, just as I had longed to do countless times in my past life. Don't be afraid. You're safe now. We'll stay with you, step by step, guiding you out of the shadows, away from the hardship, and back to a good life. The little girl broke down in tears, and my eyes reddened as well. This time, the tears were relief, healing, and rebirth. I finally understood that my own rebirth had not only redeemed me but also illuminated the path forward for countless others. That night, I had a gentle dream. In it, the version of me from my past life, trapped in despair and sorrow, stood quietly on the rooftop, smiling at me with tenderness. Thank you for pulling me out of suffering and living a blazing, free life. Now, I can finally rest in peace. I smiled back at her and said, thank you for teaching me resilience and courage. From now on, for the rest of our lives, we are both completely free, living towards the sun. Waking up in the morning, sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows, filling the room with warmth and brightness. From downstairs came Mai's gentle call. Shenwan, time to get up. There's a case we need to follow up on today. I stood up in response, washed up carefully, applied light makeup calmly, and put on my favorite dress. The woman in the mirror had gentle brows and eyes, a glimmer in her gaze, a smile on her lips, confident, open, free, and passionate. I am Shenwan, reborn from the flames, breaking free from the past, living up to the rest of my life. I deserve all the tenderness and beauty in the world, and I am willing to give my faint light to warm more people who dwell in darkness. Rebirth is never an end, but a brand new, passionate beginning that thrives toward the sun.